Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai called upon Muslim leaders on Sunday not to legitimize the Taliban, who rule Afghanistan, accusing them of being the perpetrators of gender apartheid and demanding accountability. Yousafzai addressed the closing session of an international summit hosted in Pakistan, focused on girls' education within Muslim communities across the globe, sharply criticizing the stringent Taliban regime for enforcing extensive restrictions on Afghan women's access to education and employment. For the past 3.5 years, the Taliban have taken away every Afghan girl's right to learn. They have turned our faith into a weapon to justify it, the education advocate asserted. The Taliban have made their mission clear. They aim to exclude women and girls from all domains of public life and erase them from society, she stated. Simply put, the Taliban do not regard women as human beings. They disguise their atrocities with cultural and religious rationalization. The Taliban regained control of Afghanistan in August 2021, enforcing their rigid interpretation of Islamic law, known as Sharia, which the United Nations has denounced as gender apartheid. Afghan girls are completely prohibited from attending school beyond the 6th grade. Women are barred from public and private sector jobs, with the exception of certain fields like health, immigration, and police. The Muslim World League, or MWL, co-organized the 2-day event in Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan, which gathered ministers, education officials, and academics from nearly 50 Muslim-majority nations, alongside representatives from the United Nations and non-governmental organizations. "I have a message for everyone in this room," Yousafzai remarked. "As Muslim leaders, now is the time to speak out and leverage your influence. You can demonstrate true leadership. You can embody true Islam," she said to the audience. "Afghan women and girls must be empowered to determine their own futures. The most vocal advocates for their cause must be fellow Muslims, leaders such as yourselves," she continued. Yousafzai called for a unified stance from Muslim scholars to openly confront and condemn the Taliban's oppressive laws. Taliban representatives did not respond immediately to the criticism. They staunchly defend their governance, asserting it aligns with Sharia and Afghan culture. A conference declaration released on Sunday denounced extremist ideologies and religious edicts, referred to as fatwas, which are rooted in cultural norms that impede girls' education as a serious misapplication of religious principles to legitimize policies of deprivation and exclusion. The declaration indicated that anyone who opposes Islamic principles that mandate equal education for males and females is considered outside the framework of the Islamic Ummah's concepts and cannot be viewed as part of it. It is vital to reject their ideology, whether they are an individual, an institution, or a public or private entity, the statement emphasized. The lengthy declaration did not mention Afghanistan, where girls are exclusively prohibited from pursuing secondary education and beyond. Pakistani officials noted that the Taliban government in Kabul had been formally invited to attend the global summit, but Islamabad did not receive any response. During the opening session on Saturday, Mohammed bin Abdul Karim Al Issa, the MWL Secretary General, emphasized that both men and women must pursue education as mandated by Islam. "The Islamic world is united in the belief that those who oppose women's education are misguided and do not embody true Islam," Al Issa replied when asked whether the results of the summit might motivate the Taliban to ease restrictions placed on Afghan women and girls. However, the Saudi scholar clarified that the assembly in Islamabad was not aimed at any particular community or country. "We have merely attempted to address the concerns of those who oppose the education of women and have communicated our message that no restrictions exist in Islam regarding girls' education," Al Issa stated, without explicitly naming the Taliban. Assistance Mission in Afghanistan participated in the summit, urging a panel discussion that leaders of Islamic nations need to advocate for Afghan girls. "I strongly call on all these ministers who came from all around the world to provide scholarships to facilitate online education to offer all types of education for them. This is the pressing task of the day," she stated. No country has recognized the Taliban government primarily due to its restrictions on Afghan women and girls. While the United States and the broader West have refrained from engaging diplomatically with the de facto Afghan leaders and have moved their embassies out of the country, neighboring and regional nations such as China, Iran, Pakistan, and Russia have retained their diplomatic presences in Kabul and maintain close ties with the Taliban.